So welcome everyone. This is our fourth and final presentation session for the India Virtues Campus launch. We're going to be bringing everything together, the big picture of how to launch a micro college, how to build your local teams, the four essential leadership roles that are necessary on a regional level to be able to successfully operate a Virtues Campus site, the various scenarios for churches, ministries, businesses. We're going to run through all that today. And so I just want to challenge everybody as you're participating and viewing this content, maybe have a piece of notepad paper next door or next to you, or the note option on your device, your iPhone or Android. Open up the notes and be thinking while you're going through this where you see yourself in the big picture, or where different people that when we go through the teams, the leadership roles, there's going to be various people that come to your mind and that might be able to contribute a few hours, or that you might need to do a consultation with and ask some questions when we dive deeper into the consultation sessions and the group strategies in the coming weeks. So this session is going to be specifically for people that want to start a Virtues Campus. So we're not going to be answering. I would ask people to refrain from asking questions about how they can use this model and develop it for the India context, and how they can develop it for Indian languages and so on and so forth. Right? We're mainly going to be addressing, like I said with David earlier on our call, that it was like Paul when he was in Macedonia and he had the dream, and Mercia appeared and said, "Hey, come over here." And so that's why we're in India now, launching this. That's why we've done this series, and that's why we are where we're at today, is because she has been a catalyst and for making this happen in India. Um, and so everybody's questions should be answered today. If they're not, we will have a little time at the end. But I ask, please let your questions be concerning Virtues Campus. How can you become an academic pastor? How can you start a site? How can you bring the dual enrollment option to your homeschool co-op, to your Christian high school? Um, so uh, with that, I'm going to give it over to Dr. David Glesney to take everybody through this presentation, which should be about 30 or 40 minutes. And we also may have, I don't know if Jay's here, if you see him, David, or if any of our co-hosts sees Jay Falzerano, but he's one of our academic pastors, academic mentors. We kind of use those names interchangeably. It just matters the context that you're in and what works for you. Um, so he may chime in, him and his wife, who also helps him with administrative functions to operate the campus. So go ahead, David, over to you.
Well, thank you, Zachary. And especially thank you to all you who are technological savvy so that we can actually do this and can live stream it as well. Just want to welcome everyone to this, our final presentation in this Virtues Campus India launch series. Again, my name is Dave Glesney, founder of the Virtues Campus, and alongside of Zachary and hopefully members of our global team, we are honored to walk with you in this exciting opportunity to disciple your nation through church-based education. I'd say that today is not just a presentation, it's a call to action. We believe this movement can transform education and the future of India, and you're invited to be a part of it. We're going to go through a number of slides that we will be showing you. And I will be walking through, we will be walking through these slides with you, maybe making some comments in each of the points as we go. So looking at the big picture, let's look at 10 fast facts. A Virtues Campus will open with like 6 students, and we cap it at about between 25 and 35, depending on the regional situation. In other words, we want to keep the ratio of students to academic mentors short enough, small enough, so that there really is this mentoring aspect, which is at the very center of what the Virtues Campus is all about. Students work towards a 2-year Associate of Arts degree. That's 60 credits. It takes 120 credits for a BA degree. The Virtues Campus AA degree gets you halfway to a BA degree. So the 60 credits is a way of talking about a 2-year Associate of Arts degree. How many hours does a student spend in a Virtues campus? 9 or 10 hours is what a student will attend during a normal week. Normally, it's like 3 hours of class on a Monday, 3 hours of class on a Wednesday, 3 hours on a Friday, or it could be Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. There's the flexibility there. But as far as student time in the classroom, it's about 9 to 10 hours. As I mentioned, it can be a flexibility of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 hours a day. Administratively, the academic mentor also has some administrative responsibilities, of course, and it's a bit difficult to know exactly what number to put in here, but I think it's fair to say maybe 3 to 4 to 5 hours a week needs to be spent on administration. And of course, that all depends on the administrative abilities of the academic mentor. If that comes naturally, it takes less time. If it's a little bit more, it'll take a little bit more. As far as the cost per credit, we have a very concrete cost figure from Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. Through their international administrative arm called Missio, they have worked the adjusted cost for different regions of the world. And for India, Virtues Campus students take courses that will charge them $110 per credit hour. And so you can see there what that kind of translates into as an overall cost. The academic mentor wears multiple hats. We covered this in a bit more detail last week, but let me just touch on it very briefly here. The academic mentor wears the hat of a facilitator of learning. In other words, at the local sites, the academic mentor teaches and facilitates 10 core Virtues Campus courses over the 2-year period. At the same time, the students are taking online courses from a partner accredited university, and the academic mentor helps monitor their studies with the partner university as well. Encouraging critical thinking skills, asking insightful questions, applying biblical truth to all fields of knowledge. So the hat of the facilitator of learning. Also, a second hat is a hat of mentor and discipler. The academic mentor models in word and in lifestyle Christ-like living. So much is actually caught rather than learned by students. And so the impact that academic mentors can have on their mentoring and discipling of the students is tremendously impactful. Thirdly, a hat of community connector. We do get the students out into the community, and so the academic mentor has connections with the business community, the corporate world, as far as job shadowing and bringing in outside speakers to speak to the students. And then the hat of a local administrator. There is the need to manage a calendar with the host congregation, for example. Just some very practical things, as well as being technological, hopefully savvy as far as computers are concerned and technology in running the campus. So the academic mentor wears a multitude number of hats. A major key to scaling. This will be key to the scaling of the Virtues Campus movement throughout a nation like India. And the key to that is that there will be regional launch catalysts that we need to identify across the nation, and they need a team around them. And we will talk more about that in one of the later slides, so I will not say anything more at this point about that. The local teams must include all 4 leadership styles. Again, this will be looked at in more detail in just a minute. Visionary, strategic, mobilizer, executor. And then lastly, churches and ministries can launch microcampuses with minimal infrastructure. We work with local churches. We work with homeschool co-ops. The local campus can be a church. It can be a local co-op. It can be a commercial building. It can be a retreat center. So there can be a variety of sites that can host a Virtues campus. And all of those are options that are open. So the model is simple, but it's powerful and built to scale across India through local leaders like yourselves.
So as we go through this, just picture where you fit. Are you a mentor? Are you a regional catalyst? Maybe both. Stay with us. This movement needs all kinds of leaders.
Again, I've already commented on the different hats that the academic mentor wears. So there you have it on the screen. We prepare academic mentors through orientation, and we provide ongoing coaching and support for them. So you're not left alone. But these are the 4 hats that the academic mentor wears.
So last week, if you missed it, we have the recording online. You'll be able to see that and go through that in detail as all these are unpacked. So we'll just keep moving on.
Here's how the academic side works. Students are enrolled both locally and with an accredited partner university. You see the local campus there and the online courses. So it's a blended learning of online courses, but in-person classes under the mentorship and the direction of the academic pastor on the local scene, where community takes place and teaching and mentoring take place at a very personal level. Here's a simple diagram of the pathway to a 4-year college degree, spending 2 years at a Virtues campus as they're taking online courses, earning 60 credits, and then that follows into a 2 years at a destination college or university. It could be the same partner university or another partner or another university where the 60 additional credits are needed for a 4-year degree of 120 credits. So it's 2 + 2 = 4. It's a very clear pathway to a college degree in 4 years.
And so you can get a BA, a BS, like you can get multiple different degrees, and the programs in terms of our partnership university, they have over 120 programs at SEU, at Southeastern University. So there's you know almost everything a young person could think of becoming, could envision, that is available. And so um,
Here we have listed the classes that are taught at the local site. We have an introduction to an Old Testament course, introduction to a New Testament course, the Vocation by Design course, which helps students come to a much greater self-understanding of how God has gifted them, wired them, their interests, which set them on a career path which fits who they are as God has designed them. Involved in that track of courses is a career calling. What's God's calling upon a student's life? Service learning. They get out into the community and use their leadership skills, develop them in working on some project that serves the community. A servant leadership course where we look at the model of Jesus being the ideal servant leader. Then there's a track on biblical worldview, which involves a course on apologetics, a second course on what are the main worldviews that are vying for the attention of our young people today, and then social engagement. How do we take the biblical truth and apply it to all the social and the cultural issues that young people and the world is facing today? We have a course in American government. Now, we may have a substitute course for international students. That is in process. And then we have also a life skills course. Just what are some basic life skills? And a personal finance course. Everything from here's a credit card to how do you invest. So those are the 10 courses that are taught on the local campus site.
and so one
And
of the things that
all the students take all those courses. This is not a pick and choose as far as those 10 core courses.
and the power the secret sauce, so to speak, of the Virtues Campus is the fact that they have an academic mentor that's helping them discover their vocation and career calling. Most students, on average, change their major 3 times, at least here in the United States. And so that's a lot of time wasted. Some people graduate with degrees that are completely useless in terms of their purpose, calling, the job they want to pursue, that career path. So we really help, accelerate that, especially if you're taking dual enrollment, which we envision Mercia has had a lot of questions about. So that'd be something that's very in terms of putting you ahead in the job market and preparing you for life. Like we want to prepare students for life, for the real world, for marriage, for vocation, and so we don't want them to graduate with a mountain of debt and these all these useless degrees. So
How does the Virtues Campus work? Again, partner university online courses count toward the high school diploma and the AA degree. Again, we're talking about the American context. This has to be contextualized to India. Virtues in-person courses earn credit. Then they transfer to the partner university and are applied to the AA degree. This AA degree in turn is transferable to a four-year university towards a BA degree. Students attend Virtues Campus in person and also attend a partner university online, taking classes at the same time. And academic mentors serve as teachers, mentors, and coaches along their journey at the Virtues Campus.
so our program structure, this is for the dual enrollment. This is exactly what the breakdown would be. And like David said, this is the Virtues Campus goes beyond an AA degree. That's just what we have for the first 2 years, but they can go on with all our partner universities beyond that. They can go all the way to doctoral degrees, and whether it's psychology, business, get an MBA, get a master's of business, and so they can do all these things. It doesn't stop here. So, like I said, we have 120 programs through SEU for them to choose from, but this would be the core curriculum that students would walk through. And so, if Mercia, at any time, if you have anything, especially contextual wisdom that you would like to input, just go ahead at any point.
I think we cannot, uh, what to say, look at American the courses that are available and think that it is not applicable. Basically, here also we have a similar +2 or pre-degree program where students can have choices. They can either have maths plus bio, or they can have computer science. I think all these options will be available as for US university is also concerned. I think that the courses that you have given here are very limited number, right?
Yes, this would be what they would be taking for dual enrollment. So when they're still in high school, or the equivalent, the year
Yeah.
junior and senior year of their
Mhm.
school. So that would be for us 11 and 12 year of school in America. So, but yes, a lot of these would be altered. Obviously, the you would rather it's Indian history, Indian government, and so on and so forth. And so the weekly commitment, we have this as guesstimates because this is a startup still. We have 4 sites going in the US, and one of them they're just graduating their second cohort now, and they're in a local church. So we're going to give some site scenarios soon. But on average, we're thinking, India, like she's has the largest youth population. So we're thinking, you we may allow you to go up to 35 rather than 25 just because but we want to stay true to who we are in terms of you might have 5 kids that need mentorship really close. And so that's going to bring you to probably 22 hours a week as a academic mentor in terms of the workload that you're going to have to be doing administrative that goes beyond the baseline number, which would just be 2 to 3 hours of administrative, that might go to 5 or 6 hours administrative because you have 35 students. And so we don't know these exact numbers. These are what I call guesstimates. So we're building them on data, the current data that we have of cohorts of like 10 or 12 students. And then I'm using AI and to scale and to build out these models further so we know exactly how they apply. And then it's also how technically savvy are you? And the first semester, it's going to be a learning curve. So your administrative and your planning are not going to be as efficient as they are going to be in the third or fourth semester. The second year of your dual enrollment as an administrator and wearing that hat as an academic pastor. But also like one of our academic mentors in the States here, he does all the teaching and his wife does the administrative. So there's a team dynamic there that they have already built into their home environment. And so but then there's also going to be the mentorship aspect where you're going to spend 2 hours a week or more just one-on-one with kids, just coaching them through life, through difficulty, through stressful things. They're the opposite sex. There's all these things that are coming up, and not all of them come from two-parent homes, or some of them you might have dealing with orphanages or wherever you start your site. So these are all very flexible, but and then community engagement, finding people that they can shadow, businessmen, businesswomen. But this model was built for the local church, and it was conceived in the mind of Vishal Mangawati, who's a native Indian. And so he saw this as a tool for the local church to disciple the nation. And so discipleship is almost synonymous with education and teaching people. So we see a small site, 5 to 10 students doing 12 to 15 hours a week total. But if you're a larger site, like 25 to 35 students, you're probably going to do 18 to 22 hours every week when it comes to facilitation, administration, disciple mentorship, and the community engagement in terms of trying to bring in guest speakers to your site, build out service projects. But in the local church, like I said, these things are all kind of baked in, that you have all these people right there within your community. You have that network. So be thinking about the people that you have in your network that might be able to share in these roles with the academic pastor, and who he can network with. Be jotting down some of the names, some of the people that come to mind. And this was the cohort that just graduated from Calvary Chapel Old Bridge. So they're at a church. That's where their site is. They also have a high school, and then they also have the Virtues campus. So there's dual enrollment students there. And then there's also students that are taking the standalone, that are taking it in their 13th and 14th year, not in their 11th and 12th year of school. And this is actually Jay's daughter standing next to him in the blonde hair. So she graduated. So he believes in this model so much that this is his choice for his daughter. So David, you can pick back up.
Yeah, looking at the team building, we envision that the core needs 4 leadership roles. A visionary who casts spiritual and educational vision, a strategist who translates the vision into actionable systems, a mobilizer who recruits students, families, and volunteers, and an executor who handles operations, communication, tech, and logistics. These roles can rotate or overlap, but we feel it's rather important that all 4 need to be covered by certain persons, whether that be one person or be multiple number of people. And I think Zachary, you're going to fill those out a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll revisit this a little later, but like I said, the cohort that you just seen, that's in a local church. So they have a pastor who's the visionary, who's casting the vision for this before his congregation. And he's not working all these fine details out. He has people that do marketing, that do the Facebook marketing to try to find the students and the families, the mothers and fathers that are actually paying for this, because you know, somebody is going to be paying for their kid to go to school. So most of our marketing is geared towards them, and then somebody that handles the day to day, like I said, the administrative academic pastors that we have, their wives actually are taking on the job to be the executor, to deal with the day to day communications, to deal with the populi and so on and so forth. So this is our site scenarios, and David can expound more. We're going to be going through 4 different site scenarios.
Yeah, we've designed this to fit your unique context. So you may be in different contexts. You may be in a local church-based site. We have, like Zachary was saying, we have a church-based site in Calvary Chapel, Old Bridge in New Jersey. The church hall then in that situation becomes the micro campus, the actual facility. An academic mentor may be a youth pastor, maybe an elder, maybe an associate pastor, maybe just a very gifted layperson who has all the qualifications needed to be an academic mentor. The strategy is designed in partnership with the senior leader of the church, the senior pastor. There needs to be coordination between the church leadership as well as the leadership of the local Virtues campus. And it should be integrated with the youth ministry, Sunday school, and small groups so that it really becomes embraced by the congregation, and the entire congregation becomes involved in this discipleship process of educating the next generation in God's truth. Some potential subtypes there. It could be a rural village churches with empty weekday buildings, urban churches with underutilized classrooms. Usually classrooms stand very much underutilized Monday through Friday. Why not use the facilities that are already available there? And mega churches seeking higher education ministries. And a mega church can add a college ministry to their platter of offerings. So it could be
And
a
that
local church-based site.
and that's where the term academic pastor, where a lot of times they just add that because they have senior pastor, they have a missions pastor, they have a youth pastor, and so the academic pastor in that sense is very revolutionary and reformational, because that was a part of the Reformation. Luther wanted to see every kid educated and every kid be able to read the Bible, and so we're helping to revive that in the church globally.
In addition to local church sites, it could be a parachurch ministry site. Campuses could be hosted by NGOs, mission center, or discipleship hubs. You perhaps are all aware of YWAM basis, Youth with a Mission basis, and DTS centers. Those can serve as campus sites. There's a focus on character building, calling, and evangelism. Often already have small groups or leaders trained in mentoring. Scriptural union or student mission hubs. These are known quite widely. Discipleship training institutes or youth evangelism ministries. In other words, the flexibility of the program allows one to fit into a lot of different contexts and different settings as ministry sites. Or thirdly, a Christian entrepreneur co-working space. This could be led by business leaders or Christian social entrepreneurs. We have a regional director in New Jersey who's a businessman, and he's taking on the regional director role in that northern part of New Jersey. Combines education with innovation and skill building. Mentors might be business owners or professionals. We want to utilize the gifts that God has given to his people, the business gifts and professional gifts. We want all of them to be involved in this process of discipling the next generation.
And
Potential
so
subtypes there. Christian, go ahead, Zachary.
yeah, we also have people that are coming on board with our network that they have homeschool co-ops that they're starting. And so they're integrating the dual enrollment into their homeschool co-op, and they have some business leaders. It's not all church leaders. They have some business leaders that started homeschool co-ops. And so they have 10, 12, 15, 25 students in their homeschool co-op. And now these kids can graduate ahead of all their peers, 2 years ahead of all their peers, and have the wisdom and knowledge to actually go through life and succeed. So you might be a business person here listening to this and say, you know what, that's doable. And like you said, our regional director and a lot of this, we're thinking like we want to franchise this. We want this in every county in the United States. We want a Virtues Campus presence, and so that presence may look different. And we're okay with that. We're okay with you contextualizing and you stepping out as an entrepreneur and saying this is something that I'd like to lead. And so we're going to get into those conversations more later, how you can network and how you can build this out with people so that you can make it happen. And so in the very near future, we probably will be doing, we probably will bring in and have some of those people explain how you can start a homeschool co-op and then integrate the dual enrollment within it through Virtues Campus partnerships. So some of it might be potential sites like, micro schools, after school academies, enrichment centers we have in the United States where they teach code, they teach all this other stuff. But during school hours, you can use that center, you could utilize that center. So go to talk to them, be entrepreneurial, and go scout it out, go spy out the land like Joshua and Caleb and do some asset mapping and find out the actual institutions and the businesses that are within your local community that might be able to be a potential host site.
And we can work with Christian high schools if those are in the area. Integrated as a dual enrollment program, academic mentors can support biblical worldview learning. It blends traditional high school instruction with college level courses. We can talk about private Christian high schools or independent or hybrid homeschool networks, mission-run secondary schools looking to expand impact. And all
So,
these scenarios require someone to be the regional launch catalyst to help coordinate the site setup, build a team, legal and academic guidance, and the first cohort recruitment. So that regional launch catalyst, identifying such people, is an important part of this whole process.
so let's pause for a moment and just picture yourself, your church, your ministry, your business. Which model feels the most realistic? Where do you fit? This movement grows through people like you bringing it home to your community. So this is a little bit more detailed and complex, so it might be overwhelming a little bit at first to see this, but these regional launch catalysts, or what we're calling someone that would become a regional director. And so think of, like a franchise, Starbucks, McDonald's, for instance, we would like to have these presence. And so if there's a community, there's a country that has no presence at all at Virtues Campus, we want to pioneer there. And so in many ways, Mercia is this person, but she might not have the mobilization I mean, she's obviously shown that she has mobilization skills, but maybe she's weaker in the execution. So she might need to find someone. And so we want to provide that opportunity through the WhatsApp group that she can network with people there through the specific Virtues Campus India WhatsApp group to connect. And so if you're in the chat and you see yourself maybe operating in one of these quadrants, just type in the V, the S, the M, the X, the E. If you see yourself being able to be one of these people on one of these teams. And like I said, the regional launch catalyst or a regional director to get this started, like Mercy is doing, to launch and move this out, you need to have a competency or an understanding of these four quadrants, of these four different types of leadership. You need to be constantly casting vision. That education is discipleship, and that you need to be able to build out or understand uh, how to make this actionable. These systems, like all these different scenarios, we require different skill sets for the site scenarios that we gave you, and to be able to mobilize, to be able to do marketing, whether it's online or maybe people that their business does Facebook marketing, does meta marketing. They know how to get out there on Facebook and reach the parents so that you can have the students in your cohort. Um, so a regional launch catalyst, they're going to be able to see what works and what doesn't work in terms of, like, we're building out an avatar, so to speak. So it's our ideal regional director, our regional catalyst that makes a Virtues Campus happen in any particular region or nation. And they might not do marketing, but they know what right marketing looks like and wrong marketing looks like. So if they hire a marketing team and the marketing team comes back to them, or they have a kid at their church that's really savvy, knows how to use Instagram, knows how to use Facebook, and they say, and he does live streams and does stuff, and he says, "Hey, would you like to partner and shadow this business person and start to build out some ads for us based off the ad copy and run the Virtues Campus India Facebook page?" Um, and so you would approve, the ads and so on and so forth as a regional launch catalyst to help recruit the first cohort and to make it happen. And then you would have to interface with the legal people. But the main role of the regional launch catalyst is to build the team, is to identify the visionary that can continually, which at times is mostly the senior leader, the executive leader of a business or a church or something like that. They're not doing all this other stuff. They're not building out the systems, and most of the systems we have, like everything we have, we're giving to you. So a lot of this stuff that you see here is just the regional level, the national level teams that you'll have. And so for each state in India, you'll have regional teams that have these four components. And then out of those regional teams, you can nominate people and build a national team that represents the national Virtues Campus India. And they interface with us, with the US team. And we help coach them because we don't have the capacity to coach a dozen teams in a dozen different regions. But those teams in those regions nominate the leaders who they want on the national team of India Virtues Campus, and we can coach them, and interface with them and answer questions and answer problems and stuff like that. So this is all biblical based. These leadership roles, they're based on Ephesians 4 giftings, and we see these also in the executive world. That often the visionary, the executive leader, is the prophet. David is standing all the time preaching this stuff night and day. You don't have to energize him to do this. This is what makes him come alive, is to share the vision of Virtues Campus. We just had a young man reach out on Facebook that is in the process of really considering becoming an academic pastor. And so David's going to be consulting with him and seeing how the timelines or exactly when he should begin his orientation to start his site. He has all the credentials in terms of he has a master's degree and several other degrees and training from YWAM or different parachurch ministries. And so just the way it works, big picture for us in America, we have David as the CEO of Virtues Campus. We have Anil, he's in New Jersey, and we also have Larry, who's in New Jersey, who's doing a lot of strategy. They're building things out. So that would be someone who's like a chief strategy officer, and really taking it to the ground and building out the campuses. We have 4 campuses that are in New Jersey. And so making sure that those systems are intact so that they succeed. Like, we don't want to set anybody up for failure. So a strategist is something that's a non-negotiable on a team. And so you have to realize if you're someone that sees yourself as an academic mentor, but you look at some of these and you think, well, some of these I can't do, then you need to outsource. You need to find that person within your community, within your local church. Like, this was built for the local church. So the reason that I'm so strong, like, I operate in quite a few of these areas, overlapping and doing stuff, because I was raised in the local church, and so I've done job shadowing. I've done all that stuff. It just was grassroots, organic in the communities. And I've been on staff at a local church for more than 5 years, both a smaller church of 150 and a mega church of over 20,000. So I know how this scales and how this looks and how these people think. But a lot of times your Virtues Campus pastor or academic mentor is going to be somebody that's probably more in the teaching role, is somebody that's and working as a chief operational officer that's making sure that knows how to use all the systems. Like last week, if you missed that, you can go back and watch that on our YouTube pages. You can watch the academic pastor deep dive and understand what a mentor actually does on a day-to-day basis and the systems that he needs to know. And like we said, that it probably will be uh, a little learning curve during your first semester, but if you do some simulations with your team and do this before your launch, you should have a very successful launch. Like ideally, because everything we have is built out like a franchise, we're giving it all to you, all these systems and strategies and stuff like that. It's built in. You should be able to do it within 6 months. Ideally, if you're just doing a dual enrollment, it's really easy. Or if you're just doing the first 2 years, if you're adding that on to one of these sites. So the regional launch catalyst can be any one of these four people. Um, the regional launch catalyst might be the academic mentor. He might not be, but they're not doing everything. Their main role is to create movement and momentum and build and identify the team members so that the site setup can happen to scout out the land to say, okay, this is where the site happens. So they're basically the initiator. That's why we call them a regional launch catalyst. And that's how Larry is operating on our team. He's mobilizing. He's right now setting up booths and tables in churches and speaking to parents about the Virtues Campus and trying to recruit and make the first cohort happen. So they have MOUs signed with two different sites. One of them is what are the four sites, David? Maybe if you could just give them a snapshot of the four sites that we have operating in New Jersey.
One is currently operating in a local church. The second one is a local church. One is a retreat center. So they're different settings like that. Yes.
So a retreat center is kind of like a campground. I mean, there's all different types of ways you can do it because it doesn't take a lot, but you need someone from the core four, I call it, operating in this role. And so in many ways, that's what Mercia has done. And she needs to realistically, through these next couple of weeks in our consultations, is figure out exactly what is doable for her and what she needs to outsource, the gaps you need to fill in terms of your leadership team to really make this happen successfully. Virtues Campus isn't just education, it's a movement, and we follow both biblical and practical leadership framework. So that was the snapshot we gave you. If you see yourself in one of these roles, you need to know the only way this works is through spirit-led collaborative leadership teams on every site. And so I'll be handing it back to David.
As we wind down here, we want you to know one thing above all, you will not be alone. There is a support structure that is in place. We provide materials and we have orientation sessions with academic mentors, which goes through everything from the nuts and the bolts of operating and overseeing and running a Virtues Campus. Those orientation sessions number 4 or 5. We have videos and tools for local use that we will make available to you. Also ongoing coaching from Virtues USA, as well as an India core team that hopefully will be developed. The peer network, regional launch catalysts and academic mentors in your region. Be very helpful to set up that sort of a network. And then to access our learning management system, Populi, and SEU, Southeastern University resources. So you won't be isolated. We'll walk this journey together with you.
And so if you're interested in any of the SEU, the 120 programs, I think they have over 120 programs, you wouldn't contact with us about those programs. You would reach out to them on their website and look at the programs there uh, for the higher ed degree programs and stuff like that that goes beyond the AA degree. So if you're going into your BA or your BS degree or your MA degree, what so on and so forth, you would look that up through them on their website. So we've continually put those things in the WhatsApp group, and today you can if you're here in the chat and you could type that in. Like if you see yourself as an AM, you know, potentially uh, this is no commitment here, but we just want to allow you to explore that, especially with people in India, because this is going to need to be contextualized and these teams are going to need to happen in the regions. And there's no better time to partner than now on this and to begin to be brainstorming and having sessions where you just ideate, where you just throw ideas out, where you kind of what we would call spitball, just throw them out and see what sticks, so to speak. So if Mercia wants to chime in at all and give any of her thoughts, but this is basically us wrapping it up here for today in terms of revisiting. This is the big picture uh, of what we do and what we're offering and what it really takes. And like we said, we have everything. All we're looking for is the academic mentor and the regional launch catalyst, and then all these other meetings that we're going to do will be coming up shortly. So, David.
Yeah, just in closing, you know, if you sense that the Spirit of God is stirring within you, don't turn your back on that. Follow that, say yes to that, and find out what the Lord may be leading you towards. We will help you find your place, either as an academic mentor, a regional launch catalyst, a partner site, or perhaps a person who is functioning in a support role. Zachary can make more about consultations begin next week, the group strategy session, and bring your questions and let's build together.
Yeah, so next week, because we're almost at the hour here, so but we'll have strategy sessions where we'll walk through the different scenarios and this everything that you have in mind. Some of you are already planning, some of you have already reached out to us and contacted us saying, look, we want to do this. And so because we can only handle so much in our team, our availability, like a lot of us are working satellite. We're not all, we have two or three, we have about four, we have four people in New Jersey. Two of them are academic pastors. One's a regional director, who is also a catalyst, who's also starting more campuses, is pioneering more campuses, expanding the franchise, so to speak, of Virtues Campus. And then we also have one of our strategists there who helped us get on the Populi and to help us get operational stuff functional and stuff like that. And it's trying to help us scale because we really want to get to 12 campuses as soon as possible. And so this is a way to do that and to help the India team. We're going to have 2 1-hour sessions at the same time next week and the following week. And so you don't have to set up a group consultation with us. You don't have to send me or David anything privately. I mean, because that's the first place we're going to point you. We're going to say, come to the group strategy session, because that's when we want to answer those questions with all of India. So every region, come and represent your region, and we'll help you build out the core 4 that it's going to take, you know. And like I said, anybody on that core 4 could be the academic mentor. Anybody on that core 4 could be the regional director, the launch catalyst. So if Mercia would like to speak or share, add anything before we close, that would be great.
I think the 4-week inputs that have gone into us with Dr. David and Zachary that you've given has made things more clearer for all of us. And whatever hesitations people may have, if they can voice it out or whatever apprehensions they may have. If that can be discussed, then we can also clarify as to how things are possible and how we can take it forward. And this is a good idea that we have regional launch catalysts who can work on the spreading of the message to all potential takers of this idea of virtuous campus. And as academic pastors, I'm sure all those who are here can be academic pastors because they have a vision for the nation, to disciple the nation. And all are also want to do something for the Lord, and that qualifies them. But then, how to make it uh, a reality, how to operationalize it, that may be when they go through the training that I went through, the 4 or 5 week training can be of use. So actually, we need, first of all, the commitment, then the conviction that we can do, and go through the process confidently, take it up, and definitely this is possible. That's what I have seen, or I'm foreseeing. Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Marcia. So the WhatsApp
Thank you.
group,
Thank you.
everybody can continue after this session in the WhatsApp group and go into the WhatsApp group and type in AM. Like if you think you could be an academic mentor, type it into the WhatsApp group. Just type in AM in the WhatsApp group for India Virtues Campus, or type in Regional Launch Catalyst. That you're a mobilizer. You're somebody. We've had people already that said, "Hey, can I take these PowerPoints and start sharing them with pastors?" And we give you the green light. Share it with as many pastors, business leaders, every network you have. Go ahead and share this stuff. And we'll be uploading all this stuff today, the video of this, so you could share the video with people and they can see the big picture and see where they fit into it. And then you can start, getting into the nuts and bolts. And it's good, like I said, find that, like the Larry that we have, the regional launch catalyst. He's about 50 years old, so he's experienced in businesses. He's run businesses, so he knows what it's like to operate and to oversee a team, to start and to pioneer something. So just go to there to the WhatsApp group and share if you think you could become one of those other team members. Share that. Say, hey, look, I'm a visionary leader and I have competency in this area and I can go around and be an evangelist, be a mobilizer for this movement and share it and publicize it like an evangelist would say it. They want Virtues Campus to be known, and then to have an operator, to have people that know how to take the vision and say, hey, okay, we need to start, because like you need to be able to take the vision and move it. So a lot of these times, these adjacent roles, the visionary and the executor, they need to be connecting. Like David, he has Wanda, and Wanda's been his operational leader, has been executing, has been handling all these technical systems, has been creating the links for the Zoom calls to make sure everything works and to run these simulations. But we've given you a lot of information to think about. And so David's just going to close now in prayer. Thank you, everyone, for joining. David will say a prayer too.
Yes. Thank you, Zachary. And thank you all for being a part of this. This is exciting, I think, of what God is beginning to do there in India. And we're excited to walk this journey with you and to see how the Lord just makes this blossom, and so that it can be a blessing to your nation. Father, I so much thank you for each one who has been on this call today, for their interest, for stirring them to be a part of listening more and more and finding out more about perhaps what part that they can play, what role that they can play on the team there in India. Would you continue to stir hearts? Would you continue to give guidance? Would you continue to enlighten minds with a dream of what you can do for discipling their nation? Father, I thank you for the leaders that you are raising, and I pray that you would walk before each one of them, preparing the path that they are to be walked on. And so we entrust continue to entrust this entire process into your hands. And would you favor also the coming follow-up sessions that will be scheduled the next couple of weeks? And as you continue to work in human heart, bringing us all together. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So next week, the same day, same time, 1 hour, and we're going to do a group consultation. So all of those that mentioned you would love to be a regional launch catalyst, be thinking through who some of those people are that you can identify and be building out these quadrant maps. You know, you can just print it out or draw it out on a piece of paper and start brainstorming. Some of you already have taken notes during this and said, these are some of the people that I need to connect with for initial consultations to get some feedback. That you should send out some group emails or start a WhatsApp group of your own. But initially, I would like everybody to participate in the India WhatsApp group, because that way we're sharing knowledge. It's like the hive, you know, we're all participating. We're creating buzz around this. We're creating movement around the idea of starting the Virtuous Campus India and the dual enrollment program and the content creation of the India history and so on and so forth. So Mercy, if you have any closing comments or remarks.
Yes, actually, I shared about Virtuous Campus with a banker, a Christian banker called Isaac, the CEO, and he was very much excited about this, and he was wanting to know more about it. We plan to have a meeting with him. So there are people who are really excited and who want to take it forward. And I'm very sure that there are very inspired people in the same meeting that we have. So Virtuous Campus will be a reality and will be blessing India and especially the young ones. 2 years, they simultaneously have the AA degree along with their +1, +2. And in another 2 years, they are finishing. As Zakir was rightly pointing out, they are graduating a year before their colleagues will be graduating. And they will be ready for the job market. And they have a US degree, which is all advantages for the children who take up Virtuous Campus, apart from the spiritual guidance and discipleship that they receive. So I don't see why there should not be takers for this. There will be a lot of interest in this. If we start speaking to parents and young children, we will come to know. We will definitely be a blessing to India and Indian children. Yes.
So there was at least two or
Thank you, Marcia.
three people that expressed that you could be a regional launch catalyst. If you have any more thoughts along the lines of Mercia's thoughts, you could share them. Now we open that up to you now. We could spend 5 or 10 more minutes here. If anybody else wants to share their ideas of how they can publicize this and make it known and to begin to create these teams by being the catalyst. So
Yeah, sir. I'm David Anil Kumar from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, India. So actually, this is a very good program, and in all the sessions, you are clearing all the doubts, all the clarifications in our mind. So my point is, these courses are seems to be a bit costly. So can we provide any scholarship for the? That would be very useful for the students and for the expansion also. So actually, these points I thought to talk to Sister Meshia. So as you have given the time, so I'm sharing here. So actually, during these sessions, I started sharing with some people across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Some people are very much interested. So I am going to share about our Virtuous Campus and the videos and the links I'm sharing. I'm going to share them. So yes, Sister Meshia. I'm done.
Brother David, actually, I think the US-based cost that they have shown us, but for us, there is an opportunity to minimize the cost by reducing the cost that the academic mentor would be charging. So from our side, we have a flexibility to bring it down on that aspect. So what you
Thank you.
see
Thank you.
for you is
Yeah.
great. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, and so I came up with some national averages that I'll share next week in our consultation session based on our US approximation and then how that would translate to India. And so you would have to get some of your finance people in India, and then also, like you said, can we provide scholarships? Of course we can, like for students, if you're a church or missions based that wants to help orphans get their degrees and graduate college, especially early, like Marcia is envisioning with the dual enrollment. Are there any other regional catalysts potentially that could see yourself functioning in that role that have anything to voice before we wrap it up?
Good evening. I'm Magdalene Renudas. I'm basically a teacher and a founder principal of my small school here. And I'm really interested because I feel that the Spirit is leading me to go forward because education should be a vehicle to bring in the disciples and train them in God's way. Only my apprehension is that I am based here in a rural area. I have a 7 acres campus where a small school, 13 rooms are there. Academic classes are going on every day. And if I open my campus to be like one of the virtuous campuses, then this town or this place, hardly there would be anybody who would come on the mm, regular basis to come on the campus and go back on day scholar basis. So if I open this place for outsiders in other states or other districts, so in that case, students would need to come and live on this campus as hostelers in the hostel.
Yes.
So in that case, they need to spend double money for their hostel charges and then for their course fees. So that is my concern. How will we convince them?
Yeah, and
Because
these are all
yeah,
things that we're going to address next week, but I love the direction you're going because we need to explore these ideas and then work with strategists, works with people that are consultants that are very gifted in this in your community. And you have all those people in your community. It's just mapping them, like mapping these assets out and finding them and connecting with them. And so all those things that you said, they're doable, but yeah, initially they seem a little daunting. They're challenging, but we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And so we can overcome. We can figure out how to work these obstacles. And so, like you said, you have a territory, you have a place where students could potentially come. And so you might want to network with other
mm,
regions in the
yes,
beginning. And so find out in these consultation sessions, we'll go through that and we'll be able to connect you and we'll be able to find out all these people. And I'll transcribe all this stuff. Like I'm very savvy with the technical people. And so you want to find someone like me on your team over there nationally
mhm,
that I will work with. So I will be the point person and I will multiply myself and seed all my gifting into that person. And so that he can develop, mature, and do what I'm doing for the United States in India, the nation of India. And then he will raise up people regionally to do what he's doing. So we all multiply after our own kind, whether we like it or not. David says it's caught sometimes and it's taught, but mostly it's caught. People just follow what the adults are doing, not what they're always saying. Don't do this, don't do that. No, they're just gonna imitate. So, I'm following David, he's following Christ, and so on and so forth. So, I'm excited. All the questions we got, we don't have
yeah,
all the
thank
answers
you.
because we're going to do the problem solving and this what we call a strategy session. So that's what these upcoming sessions are going to be, 1 or 2 hours. We're going to find other people. They're going to say, "Oh, I hear what you're saying. I have the answer for you, sister. I am the answer. I have the competency. I can do that. I can help network or I have a bus. I can help uh, safely transport the kids. So you're going to find out all these things by dialoguing with people next week and next week, like I said, it's not a commitment thing. We're not telling people you have to sign on or you have to be the regional launch catalyst, we're saying let's express these ideas and share and network. And Mercia so graciously and kindly, extended this invitation. And that's why we're here operating in India right now. So praise God for her faithfulness and for her courage to do what the Lord has called her to do. And so we pray that the Lord would raise up many more people that heed the voice of the Lord and follow the Spirit. And so we're going to wrap it up now. And thank you, everyone. Next week, same time, same place.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Zachary.